What's up, YouTube? Una here to bring you another OPTC video. Today we're going to be doing the Rising Sun, Rising Fortunes Fortnite, and I'm not magical. Again, this is going to be a pre-recorded video. I was actually traveling out of town the whole time that this Fortnite went on, all 4 days. So I actually jumped on, recorded this video real quick, and now I'm doing a voiceover after the fact. And what happened was the first time this Fortnite came around, I actually used I think it was either G3 or Log Luffy team, and just completely overpowered it. But one of the other admins on the One Piece wiki, Treasure Cruise wiki, recommended that I try a double monster chopper team. So at the time I didn't have the levels. Like, you need to have basically all level 80-90 units to really do the power that Monster Chopper needs, because if you mess up, then it's over. And again, I didn't have any times to run through this again or check what it was. So this was me going into it blind, so I stalled a lot longer than what I needed to, because I didn't know if I was going to need Usopp or if I could just power through it. So let's talk about this Fortnite. The first level's nothing interested. You could potentially get instead of Igorappa, however you pronounce his name, you could potentially get Mr. 9 as well. A few Baroque Works units levels here, and it's actually kind of interesting because the next level is going to be a little Orange Town replay where you get either Kabaji or you get Moji, they're all interesting units. Nothing's required, but for some of those missions, you need to use some of these units. So it's useful to run this Fortnite not only a few times to get these kind of rare units that you won't really use regularly, but you may use just for like missions and stuff like that. And yes, for the rest of the levels, you've got, Johnny, Yosuke, Nezumi, Iron Fist, Full Body, a lot of the East Blue fun stuff. But nothing terribly like you're going to be missing out if you don't get them. It's just kind of nice to have. So I think eventually we will get the Barity missions, in which case there are some missions where you need to use some of these guys. But in any case, beyond that, in terms of the actual units themselves, you're going to have Kimono Luffy, Kimono Zoro, and Kimono Nami. Let's talk about Nami as a secret stage boss. I did not get her on this run, but she is actually probably the unit that you may use out of this Fortnite. Luffy and Zoro, they may have some use on like a Sengoku team, but their cooldowns are a little bit high and not totally useful now that sockets are out. But in a pinch, if you have a team without the sockets, or just unique scenario, you could use them. But what really makes Nami interesting is that you can actually negate all int damage. She is an int character, so it's kind of going to be a weird setup depending on your team. But you can just completely negate all damage from int, and I've used that on like apprentices. The Young Shanks Fortnite, I've used it on Aokiji. It's definitely a nice special to have, though it's not required. Right there, quick note is that Hachi won't attack. He just changes all your orbs to RCV. So with Zoro having an all-strength team, you're just going to rip right through him, and that's one of the advantages of this team and why it's so fast. And I really didn't need to stall at all for this, because you'll see. I was stalling for a Monster Chopper special here, but you'll see that you could really just one-shot these guys without a problem. And then the next stage is Luffy, and Luffy will actually buff his attack by 10%, 1.1 to 1.2 to 1.3 each round, which I think is actually kind of like an interesting little game mechanic. I kind of like that. I like the Nightmare Luffy when it eventually comes to global, how you lose 10%. Every round that you play with him. So it breaks it up. If you just have the same old hit, it's kind of boring. So it's kind of fun to have one of those races. And I did like no damage here with Monster Chopper. It wasn't even worth stalling for them, honestly. But you'll see here that with a double Monster Chopper team in high levels, you do so much damage that it's not even worth stalling here. So once you have Usopp kind of maxed out, I mean, if you had an initial Usopp with 15, you're going to want to stall like I did here. But for the most part, you'll see that this level was really easy when you have the levels. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you can pick up some of those East Blue for the missions. Those units aren't the best, but they're unique, that they will provide help that you need to reduce binds and stuff like that in a pinch. And Nami's obviously really cool, but in terms of the skill books, you do have some nice things, such as like the law books. Law is always very, very nice, especially if Apu. I don't. You've got Mr. 3, who is a fantastic delayer for slasher teams with the one-turn delay. And that's about it. you'll get some Nami books, but the other ones aren't super important. So good luck with farming this fortnight, guys. Hopefully you have more time than I did. Sorry about that. Good luck.